What's up, friends? Welcome back to the Block Analyst, the channel where we break down the biggest moves in crypto, blockchain, and the future of money. No hype, just pure signal. Today, we're going extremely deep. We're talking about something that could define the next decade for Ethereum and every single person holding ETH. We're diving straight into Ethereum's official post-quantum initiative, directly from the brand new hub that just dropped, pq.ethereum.org. This isn't some random white paper or buzzword. This is the Ethereum Foundation's post-quantum team laying out the complete blueprint to make Ethereum quantum-proof before the quantum computers even arrive. If you hold Ethereum, if you're building on it, or if you're thinking about investing serious capital into the ecosystem, you need to watch this until the very end. Because what we're about to cover isn't just technical. It's a multi-billion-dollar investment thesis that could separate the winners from the obsolete in the next 8 to 12 years. Quick but important disclaimer before we dive in. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing I say in this video is financial advice. Crypto is volatile, and quantum computing is still an emerging field with many unknowns. Always do your own research, consult licensed professionals, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. The views here are for educational and informational purposes only, based on publicly available information from pq.ethereum.org as of April 2026. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Do your own research. All right, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Let's start at the beginning, because you need to understand the scale of what we're protecting. Ethereum is not just another cryptocurrency. Ethereum is the world's largest decentralized computing platform, a global, permissionless, self-sovereign financial and application infrastructure that runs 24/7 without any single company or government in control. Think of it as the internet's new operating system for money, contracts, identity, and ownership. Over $500 billion in value is secured on it right now. Millions of people, institutions, and entire nations are building their financial future on Ethereum. It powers DeFi, NFTs, stablecoins, real-world assets, decentralized AI, and soon, probably the backbone of global finance. But here's the thing. Ethereum was designed to last not for decades, but for centuries, and its number one non-negotiable property is security. Things must do exactly what they claim to do, no more, no less. That security has always relied on today's public key cryptography, ECDSA for regular accounts and BLS for validators. These algorithms have protected trillions of dollars flawlessly, until now. Here's where the story gets serious. Quantum computers, once they reach cryptographically relevant scale, will be able to run Shor's algorithm and break the public key cryptography we all rely on today. That means a sufficiently powerful quantum machine could take your public key, which is visible on the blockchain the moment you make your first transaction, and mathematically derive your private key. Result? Forged signatures, stolen funds, impersonation of validators. This isn't science fiction. Most credible engineering roadmaps point to cryptographically relevant quantum computers arriving in the early to mid-2030s. Not tomorrow, not next year, but close enough that a decentralized global network like Ethereum needs years of preparation. The Ethereum Foundation's post-quantum team puts it perfectly on pq.ethereum.org. We do not believe a cryptographically relevant quantum computer is imminent, but migrating a decentralized global protocol takes years of coordination, engineering, and formal verification. The work must begin well before the threat arrives. This is exactly why this new service, the entire post-quantum Ethereum initiative, exists. It's not panic, it's strategic foresight. So let's go straight to the source. I've studied the entire site, the roadmap, the FAQ, the technical papers, everything. Here's the complete picture, broken down layer by layer, exactly as the post-quantum team presents it. Ethereum's protocol has 3 core layers, and quantum resistance is being built into all of them. Execution layer, where your accounts and transactions live. Current problem, regular EOAs use ECDSA. Once quantum arrives, exposed public keys become vulnerable. Solution, account abstraction becomes the hero. Users can gradually migrate to quantum-safe signatures without a chaotic flag day. Roadmap milestones, JFork, PQ signature precompiles, fast verification of quantum-safe schemes like Falcon, Dilithium, Sphinx Plus, later full PQ transactions and signature aggregation. Consensus layer, where validators secure the chain. Current, BLS signatures, fast and aggregatable. Future, switching to leanXMSS, a hash-based post-quantum signature scheme that is provably secure even against quantum attacks. Challenge, PQ signatures are bigger and don't aggregate as nicely. Solution, they're building leanVM, a tiny purpose-built ZK-VM, or zero-knowledge virtual machine, to compress and aggregate signatures efficiently. Milestones, iFork, PQ key registry, LFork, PQ attestations plus real-time proofs and leanVM. Data layer, blobs and availability. PQ blobs coming in mFork, again using leanVM for efficiency. The full living roadmap on the site, integrated with strawmap.org, shows this rolling out across forks, I to J to L to M, and eventually full post-quantum consensus. L1 protocol upgrades could be done as early as 2029, with full ecosystem migration taking additional years. It's staged, deliberate, and built on cryptographic agility, meaning they're not locking in to one scheme forever. They're keeping options open while testing everything in DevNets, with over 10 client teams already running. They've open-sourced everything. Lean Ethereum GitHub org, LeanSig, LeanSpec, Lean Multisig, research papers, YouTube playlists, it's all public goods. Now, as someone who analyzes this space from a pure finance, business, and capital allocation perspective, let's talk real impact on you. The massive upsides, why this is bullish. Your money stays yours. Long-term, this protects every ETH holder from the biggest existential threat crypto has ever faced. No more harvest now, decrypt later signatures. Institutional-grade confidence. Banks, hedge funds, sovereign wealth funds, and corporations are watching quantum risk closely. Ethereum, becoming the first major L1 to go fully quantum resistant, positions it as the safest, most future-proof settlement layer. That means more capital inflow, higher demand, and, let's be honest, upward pressure on ETH price over the next decade. Stronger protocol overall. This isn't just patching a hole. It's an opportunity to improve performance, decentralization, and simplicity. Snark-based aggregation could actually make the network faster and cheaper in some ways. Leadership moat. While other chains scramble later, Ethereum is already years ahead. That first-mover advantage in security is priceless in a trillion-dollar market. The realistic downsides and trade-offs, being honest, short-term friction. Larger signatures mean temporarily higher gas costs and bandwidth during transition. Validators might see slightly higher operating expenses. Timeline uncertainty. This is still research and governance. Forks can shift. Full migration depends on community consensus. Dormant funds. A very small percentage of ETH sits in old unmigrated accounts. The community will eventually decide what to do, freeze or leave as is, but it's a governance conversation. Opportunity cost. Resources spent here aren't spent elsewhere, but the team frames it as security is non-negotiable. For the average retail holder, the pros crush the cons by a mile. This is proactive defense of your wealth, not reactive panic. Look, quantum computing isn't coming to steal your ETH tomorrow, but in a world where trillions are on the line, the chains that prepare earliest will be the ones that survive and dominate. Ethereum isn't just reacting. It's turning a potential weakness into a massive strength, exactly as the post-quantum team says. This has never been framed purely as a problem, but more as an opportunity to advance the state-of-the-art in protocol design. This is why I'm more bullish on Ethereum's long-term value proposition than ever before. If you found this breakdown valuable, smash that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Are you going to start migrating your ETH to a smart account early, or are you waiting for the official forks? Also, if you want me to do a follow-up breaking down the actual technical papers or how this affects specific DeFi protocols, let me know. I'll see you in the next one. Stay ahead of the curve. This is the Block Analyst, signing out.